Imagine standing at the top of a bright yellow playground slide and dumping out a cup of water. Gravity grabs that water and it zips straight to the bottom in seconds. That is exactly how rain acts when it falls on a steep mountain. Without anything to stop it, the water races right down the slopes to the valley below. But for the people living halfway up that slope, that speed is a problem. They need that water to stay put, so they have enough to drink, wash, and grow their crops. You might think they need massive, noisy pumps to push water back up the hill. They don't. Instead, mountain communities use a clever set of tricks to catch the water right where they live. Surviving up high is a matter of learning how to outsmart gravity. The most direct way to stop water from sliding down a mountain is to grab it before it ever hits the ground. Look at this house. People build gutters that treat their roofs like giant umbrellas. Every drop of rain that hits the metal gets funneled through that white pipe directly into a storage tank. But there are places that rarely get rain, even though the mountain is constantly wrapped in thick, wet clouds. In these areas, people use fog catchers. They hang these large mesh nets across the hilltops. As the clouds blow through, tiny moisture droplets stick to the mesh, merge together, and drip into a trough waiting below. By plucking water right out of the air, communities can fill their tanks without ever having to chase a single drop down a steep hillside. Of course, most of the water will hit the ground eventually, and the second it does, it starts its race downhill. To handle this, farmers dig what are called contour trenches. You can see these lines cut sideways across the slope. They act like speed bumps for the rushing water. Instead of zooming over the surface, the water hits these flat ledges and stops. It rests in a quiet puddle, giving it time to slowly soak deep down into the soil. You can see the same idea at work in mountain streams. These small stone walls are called check dams. They block the rushing water and the dirt it carries, turning a fast-moving stream into a series of quiet pools. By forcing the water to slow down, communities keep it resting on the mountain, rather than watching it wash away to the valley floor. So, once those speed bumps force the water to sink into the dirt, where does it go? Underneath the surface, tree roots weave together, turning the dirt into a giant sponge that traps soaked-in water. Eventually, this sponge leaks. The water slowly squeezes downward through the soil until it bubbles out lower down the hillside as a clean, natural spring. People protect these water sources. Here, they've built a stone wall and tapped a pipe directly into the rock to easily collect the steady flow of clean drinking water. Sometimes, people don't wait for a spring to emerge on its own. They dig vast underground tunnels, called qanats, that work like giant straws to draw hidden water directly out from inside the mountain. A healthy mountain stores its most valuable resource inside, safely tucked away from the sun. We've caught the water in barrels, trenches, and underground sponges. But there is one final step: getting it from those traps to the homes where people live. Remember how water always wants to go down? Communities run a network of pipes from their water traps to the village below. The water gets a free ride down the slope, driven entirely by its own weight. If you live in a flat city, you need huge, expensive mechanical pumps to force water up into tall buildings. Up here, gravity does all that heavy lifting for free. The very force that makes water run away is the same one that delivers it straight to the top. We started with a simple slide where water just vanishes, but with these tools, we see a clever working mountain system. They turn the entire landscape into a massive water tower. It catches the rain, stores it deep inside, and delivers it exactly where needed. The next time you see a steep hill or watch a kid zoom down a slide, take a closer look. There is a quiet power in working with the shape of the land rather than trying to fight